evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening. I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Durty with your boy. Me. Weeks are getting better and better and better as the season is rolling on. What is really good about that in its entirety is the mere fact that we're seeing some development early as well as challenges. And challenges are good. Pressure makes diamonds. Yes, it bursts pipes too. But we're going to go with the good part. One of the surprises this season so far has been Cascadia's start. And I think that is more of a selective surprise. They were a good team last year, didn't pan out the way many people wanted. They're a good team this year, and they look way different, though they are good in a different way. This year, they're rocking three true bigs, 6'10", 6'10", 7 foot. Dozier, Wells, and Holbrook. And what I've seen from each of their games, and really saw it getting better as the season has rolled on. I know it's a small size here. I've only seen 3 games to date, is how the big men work together in sort of their own game within a game. All 3 are really good passers. I like bigs who can pass. It tells me something about their vision, tells me something about their character, tells me something about their ability. Also, how they utilize their passes, especially when you look at it in their transition game. On multiple occasions, when the defensive rebound was gathered or a block was gathered that led to a defensive rebound, one of the bigs starts sprinting right up the center cut of the floor. The pass would do one phrase is called shoulder scurry, and that is it's not super high. It's more along the line of where you can catch it with your hands at your shoulders. Specifically in their last game against Best Coast, with enough athletes who actually moved on the pass, who showed a real strong instinctive nature for defensive play, that ball might be stolen. However, the passes are so precise. It's off shoulder the way it needs to be. It leads the front player like it needs to do. And each one of those situations led to either a one dribble or a catch 2-step dunk. That is great timing. That's exactly how you like to see that play run, regardless of who's doing it. But when you have your bigs running it like that, oh man, it's dangerous. The other thing with these 3 bigs is in the half-court game, they played a really good, not high-low game, but a mid-high-low game. In other words, for instance, if I was their coach, I would feel uncomfortable with the high being around the free throw line and the low being in the post, or the high being around the top of the free throw arch and the low being in the mid part of the paint, until they proved to me that they could A, pass in rotation with that particular setup, and B, be able to show me that they're able to control their floor positioning in that transaction, that they're always doing it to the offside of where the defensive person is. And by that, I mean this. If you and I are playing this mid-high-low game, I'm at the top of the free throw arc, you're standing in the middle of the paint. And we're facing each other. The person that's guarding you is on, let's say they're side guarding you, and they're on your left-hand side as you face me. Well, my pass will then go one of 2 places. I can high pass it to your right, because then they have to come across to you, make contact with you. And even though that's risky, with the height leverage that they have, it's doable. Or the pass will go to the back ear of the other player that's on you, because then they have to actually make an awkward turn, and I would pass it high again to let your length play for that. Then you can then take it, turn, go up to the rim and choose violence. And they were able to do that beautifully throughout the game. If they can remain that consistent and get rid of the 15 times they shot 2 feet away from the basket and missed because they were trying to be nice about it, man, that's going to be awesome. Two quick things that I would just say from a scouting perspective that I would like to see them work on. One, their off-ball footwork, especially on defense. Too many times they got too close to the smaller, more athletic player that was on them, and that player was able to get around them and use the rim as a screener and was able to get an easy bucket or an outright dunk. Use the space, use your length, create the room. Then that way, whenever the person makes a move, you can then cut them off. And the other thing I like to see them work on is their shared post D. Not true help side D, when you're that deep in the post. If one of the players is guarding me, I'm smaller. Let's say for the sake of argument, I'm more athletic. When I get the ball, there should be another big getting ready to flare out, not coming over to trap, but just enough to obstruct any lanes I would have from the baseline to pass 3/4 of the free throw line or free throw arc to pass the ball to the opposite side. And why do I do that? With that size, you do that in order to limit their options to make that happen for you and to give yourself leverage. Again, Cascadia, it's going to be something to see the rest of the season. We'll love to see how these things are going to flesh out. Then we'll talk about it some more. We're going to talk about playing Big D in the post. Catch you another day.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game,
Be
be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to Talking Dirty with your boy. Please check out the other pod offerings. Check it all out. You're going to get a lot more detailed stuff that we don't have time to necessarily do during the broadcast. Trust me, you will not regret it on any level. As promised from before, let's talk about Big D in the post. We're talking about when you have bigs that are playing true post defense, generally against cats who are, in this particular case, 3 to 4 inches shorter and maybe perhaps a little more athletic. There are three things that you need to do to set up, I won't say impenetrable wall, but something that's going to be really close into locking down what the offensive player can do. Because I am taller and I have that particular advantage, I can create my leverage by stepping back from the player, even if it's just a half a step. Why? Because I can extend. They get the ball, even if they want to catch it, even if they follow the principles and they try to make the mistake of doing a turnaround because they don't feel my pressure. They want to do a turnaround jumper in the paint. I don't go toward the ball. Remember the rule. I go completely vertical. Now what am I doing? I'm making them put an extra 3 or 4 degrees on that shot to get over me. And most players can't react that way on the fly. Some can, many cannot. So I want to put space. The other reason I want space, this is building on the principle, is because, for instance, if you're guarding me, you step off, I don't feel your pressure, I'm going to now use my speed to make a move. Guess what? I'll never move that fast unless I'm the Flash. Let's say I make a turn to my left to pivot to the inside to go toward the rim, and you're a step off me. You don't have to step toward me. You can make that lateral step a lot quicker, and now you're in a position to take a charge, to be an impediment, to force me to rethink that move, maybe even to pull up. Now you got a block. We're going the other way. And lastly, what I'd like to see bigs do in the post, following the space, following that step into the path move, is to do more extension to block. When I say extension to block, it's like what we talked about before, to go up, directly up in the silo, not angle toward the ball. You're giving away an advantage if you go angle toward the ball, especially if you're a step off. Believe me when I tell you, if you make that wall taller, you want me on that wall, you need me on that wall. If you make that wall taller, that angle, and we talked about shot angle earlier on this season or before the season started, that angle is going to make that shot even more difficult. If I have to just add 3 to 4 degrees upward, hoping it will then drop down behind you. Those three things, key points to playing good D in the post and being able to become not only the facilitator in the transition game that we talked about earlier, but also become the effective piece that you need to be, knowing that if they work a high-low game, it's going to stop at the low game without you doing much of what else you need to do. Tell Maestro what you think. Holla at your boy. You know what's up. Give me something else to think about. Give me something else to talk about. Who are your favorite bigs in the post in terms of their defensive play? I know there are some historical and Hall of Fame names you can go to. Give me somebody else, either from the college game or the pro game. Give me somebody else that might not necessarily be. Give me someone else that might not necessarily be a household name. Come on. Use your brains here. Let's stretch it out. Let's think a little bit. Have some fun. And you know what else? If M&Ms have peanuts in the middle, and then they make them with almonds, are they still M&Ms?
Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.